What up, man? Tyson, thanks for having me. We're hanging out in Netherworld tonight. Yeah, my name's Jimmy Nails. I'm also one of the directors of BPAC, the Brisbane Pinball and Arcade Collective, which is kind of the umbrella, I guess, of the Brisbane Masters, of the Australian Kong-Off now, and that whole myriad of events that we do through August usually. First tournaments I ran were in early 2013. At the same time, Gavin was starting the Gold Coast Pinball Club. And yeah, then I started running majors, becoming even more and more obsessed with the competitive nature and the people that were in the scene and the people that we were meeting. Lambo and I started the Brisbane Masters in 2017, maybe, I think. Maybe 16. The first one was run at Archive. And Lambo was one of the first people I met when I got up here. We started chatting about the competitive scene. He was running tournaments at iPlay in the city, might have even been Time Zone then. And I ran a mini major when I first got here at Green Slopes Bowls, which went pretty well. And I think it might have been there or not long after I pitched the idea of Lambo of running a much bigger major. And we started off with Brisbane Masters 1, which was at Archive in West End. I think we had around 80 players. Then we moved to Toowong Bowls, which probably pushed over 100. We also hosted the ACS that year, I think, or thereabouts, at Toowong as well. Then the year after, we moved to Ridges Hotel, just around the corner from Netherworld. And then last year was the glorious, dusty, sweaty, smelly cattle horse version at the Ekka, which was unreal. It was amazing. Then we had to think about what we were going to do at the Ekka. The Ekka goes for 10 days, and it was Lambo's idea to do 10 days of pinball and just bridge the entire thing. Our first thought was we'll do 2 or 3 days on the first weekend, 4 days on the last weekend, but it was Lambo's idea to just do 10 days straight. It was genius. It's amazing. Lambo also curated that entire 10 days, so every event at BPAC last year at the Ekka on the pinball side, Lambo curated the entire thing. He wrote all of the formats, all of the scoring, everything. So if you were there, please make sure you thank Lambo for that one day. He worked incredibly hard setting all of that up. But the benefit also of creating BPAC is there's people within the committee that are focused on arcades as well as pinball. So we were able to incorporate the Kong-Off over there and have them together for the first time. John Tannehill pitched the Australian Arcade Championships, which we did for the first time, which went incredibly well. We threw in, just for laughs, the Mortal Kombat event the first weekend as well, thanks to Buzz's enthusiasm. If you were at BPAC this year, it was pretty surreal with the guests that we flew over. It's pretty amazing to see the Brisbane Masters and the Kong-Off be noticed on an international sense in a way. The Brisbane Masters was added to the Stern Pro Circuit this year as well, or last year, which was pretty incredible nod to all the hard work that Lambo and myself have done. So pretty thrilled about that. And hopefully next year we'll draw even more people over. Thank you very much to the Hutchos, so Hutchinson Builders here in Brisbane. Luckily for us, the CEO Scott and his son Jack are as pinball mad as I am. So, with the money that Scott gave us, we flew over Richie Knuckles, we flew over Billy and Walter, Bowen Kerins, Steve Ritchie. So it was a pretty surreal week, really. Sometimes I look back at the photos and can't even believe that we did that, in all honesty. It was a very surreal and wild 10 days. I'm one of the owners and co-founders of Netherworld. In the first year, in 2017, Ben and I ran Arcade Armageddon, which was like the reason for that event was to get all of the best arcade players, well, firstly in Brisbane, but we had people from interstate come as well, just to come into Netherworld. We put original boards and original, Twin Galaxies dip switch settings in all of the games, and we had them spread around this room. And the idea was that we would come that weekend and try and set some records. Regardless of the record setting that weekend, that was just a beautiful weekend where a lot of people who had never met face to face before got to meet each other. It was a chance for Ben and I to get to know the larger arcade community. So that went really well. And then since then we've done some other, I guess we've had some other world records broken. John Tannehill, local gentleman, part of the BPAC committee, is the Space Invaders world record holder. He also had the space off when Richie Knuckles was here. They went head to head. Oh, we had Neil Cairns and Shane Saul go for the Wonder Boy world record on the same day. Neil literally played out of his skin and played the game of his life that day. Sean played unbelievable as well, but Neil ended up with the world record on that day. I'm sure there's more I'm forgetting. We've had a Metal Slug world record done here. We've had some big scores put in, not necessarily world records, but Barra put up, I think, 6 million on Gallagher. I have to double check that, but Barra's done some pretty monster stuff on Gallagher here. Shane Saul has put up over 1 million on Pac-Man. So every now and then it's a little bit of a lull when you, someone will come up and tell you they got the high score on Pac-Man for the day, and then you show them to the actual high scoreboard, and they're like, Jesus Lord, who are these people? So yeah, we're pretty fortunate that people see this as a place to come and put world records on. We do our best to accommodate that. We've also had the world famous Fang come through Netherworld. This gentleman turned up for the Daytona event in 2018, maybe 2017. We'd had like 30, 40 competitors throwing down scores on Daytona for about 4 hours. Feng walked in with half an hour to go and broke the world record on every single lap and every single track record, and even went backwards over the finish line in expert and still broke the world record times. But he won't let me submit these to Twin Galaxies. Another event we do every year is the Ultimate Denizen. So it's an idea I'd had for a while where we challenge people to play a whole breadth of games that you might find in Netherworld. So you play, all eras of pinball, all eras of console, all eras of arcades, usually a driving game, usually a shooting game. And then Ben and I might throw in a curveball as well. Last year we threw in VR Beat Saber just for lols, which was pretty great. The prize, which when I pitched this idea to Ben, I had no idea what the prize should be. And Ben, in all his infinite wisdom, had a great idea in that if you win the Ultimate Denizen, you get your portrait painted and you hang for all eternity in the walls of Netherworld. So Johnny Bond was the winner of the first year. That was a pretty incredible day. Johnny Bond was actually on his way to the airport to fly back to Denmark via London, I believe, or maybe he was just going to London. But anyway, left, won, and didn't know he'd won the tournament until he got back, or until he turned his phone on at Heathrow and got all our messages, so that was pretty incredible. Sean Rowland won the following year, and Mike Pascale won the second year. And Mike's actually a pinball player, so hopefully it'll entice a few more pinball players to get in and play the tournament. We hosted at the Ekka, we had 160 players. We also hosted the Kong Off that weekend for the first time together with the Brisbane Masters on alternate weekends. So yeah, it went really well. And this year, 2020, we were planning to have it at Newstead Brewing Co in Milton, who have a 1,000 square metre space on their first floor, which was the plan. It was looking pretty good. Mark was going to be an incredible host, but this year happened, so we shall wait and hopefully be there next year. There's space there for probably get 250, 300 competitors up there on the second weekend, hopefully. And yeah, hopefully get to maybe 100 people for Kong Off. Maybe 200 for Masters is the aim. So we shall see, fingers crossed. BPAC's still alive and strong. We've had some committee meetings this year. Obviously it was pretty heartbreaking to make the call, but I think we made the right one and made it early enough. We could have gone up and down. It would have been more traumatic and more horrible to announce dates and then cancel them, and announce a further date and cancel it again. So I think just calling it outright was the right idea. But Plans for next year are still strong. Again, once the NRL fixture is out, we'll be throwing a date out for everybody. I think Kong Off this year is going to be the craziest and biggest Kong Off we've ever had. Like, we're going to have more machines than we've ever seen lined up in a row, and the caliber of play that's happening in Australia right now and how well everyone is playing. You got Matt Tecchio down in Melbourne, just got 1.1 I think a couple of days ago. Local guys like Luke Bushell and Johnny Bond and all those guys are all playing really well. We're also going to be running Super Ultimate Punch, 5 and/or 7 games, fighting games, and you'll be randomly drawn on those in a sequence, head to head, really fun. And then Brisbane Masters, I really hope we see. I really want to get to 200 players this year. We'll be on the Stern Pro circuit again, so I'd be thrilled to see some more internationals come. I think that Bowen and Escher and Colin had a really good experience, provided you can get on a plane come mid next year, provided it's safe. I really hope we get a strong international showing. And then Australian Arcade Championships will be on that second weekend as well. But really excited to show people the venue. The venue is ginormous, it's huge. Market Newstead will be an unbelievable host. And Donna there, the functions manager, I mean, we're going to have our own private bathrooms, we'll have our own private bar, we'll probably have our own barbecue every day. There's an outdoor balcony, chill out / smoking area, our own entrance. Like, it's going to be, hopefully it looks incredible. The space looks very trendy and really fun now. Hopefully there's enough power and we don't have to run a generator like at Eka. But it's really classy and really fun. The beer's unbelievable. Plus you're in a really hot little spot of Brisbane. You're in Milton, so you've got Scratch Bar around the corner, Milton Common, Mongrel, Brewski. Like, you've got 6 of the best bars in Brisbane within walking distance. You've got a train station right there. So it should be a pretty fun venue. There will not be pig races. There won't be horses, you know. But the food will probably be a little bit better than the Eka. So it should be really fun. I can't wait to show people the space and get a date out. I really want to get that date out to people so they can get in their diary and lock in that 10 days, lock in your long service or your holidays and come along and have some fun with us, please.
Beautiful, easy.
Work.
Well, thanks, Jimmy. Thanks so much for this.
Thanks, Tyson.
It's great,
awesome
man.
Chatting, man.
Can't wait for next year.
You. So every Thursday morning we started streaming. Vinny and I had a lot of fun together. We had some pretty funny moments on there. I don't know if you know the Good for Nothing Seductive Boys story, but there's a notorious Twitcher called Jammy. Hello again, Jammy, if you're there. Jammy will come on to pretty much any pinball or classic arcade stream and say hello. And I'm not sure what time of day it is for Jammy, but sometimes he says some pretty unusual stuff, some pretty weird stuff. Anyway, we banned him a couple of times and he kept coming back and saying weirder and weirder stuff. And to our great humour and pleasure, he went on to the Netherworld page and instead of writing Good for Nothing Sensitive Boys, he wrote Good for Nothing Seductive Boys. So that was forever. Mine and Vinny's Twitch handle should be now, or whenever we're together, we're the Good for Nothing Seductive Boys.